was rolled out by the Ugandan Education Ministry in February 2020. Uh, Before looking at anything, I would just want to briefly pass through the following things, which include stages in curriculum implementation and the adoption curve before we look at any other thing. Now, in the stages for curriculum implementation, we have the denial stage, the resistance stage, the acceptance stage, and the commitment stage. In the denial stage, it involves groups of people who still have much doubt in whether this new curriculum or this competence-based curriculum shall work. These people in the denial stage have much doubt, and they are doubting that whether this curriculum shall work. And in their perspective or in their understanding, they see the competence-based curriculum as a time waster, and also think that learners have no capabilities of making their own notes. That learners, they don't have those capabilities. They don't have that knowledge of coming up with notes via different subjects. A bit biology, it has some tough topics whereby a teacher, you are the one to intervene to make notes for these learners. So these people, all these teachers, all these facilitators, they are those who are still in this stage, which is the denial stage. They are still doubting whether this curriculum shall work. We also have stage number 2, the resistance stage. These ones have totally refused the curriculum because they see it as a failure. How? They see the curriculum as, for its implementation, it requires many resources, or it requires many resource materials to be conducted or to be implemented. And here they're saying it requires many resource materials which schools can't sufficiently provide. For example, the learning materials. For example, if you are teaching in a school which has a larger number of students, you need learning materials in plenty, like the teachers' guides, like the learners' books, plus other learning resources. So these people in the resistance stage, they see that this curriculum, it won't work, and they see it as a failure because it requires much resources in terms of learning materials, in terms of finance, to increase the teachers' salaries, because currently teachers have different schools where they do their part-timing, but this curriculum requires teachers to stay in a school on full-time basis, which is impossible. So these teachers, they have resisted, or they are still in the resistance stage of the revised curriculum. So we have the acceptance stage. The acceptance stage, this group in this group of people, or this group of facilitators, have now accepted to go on and learn, and embrace the revised lower secondary curriculum, because they have now discovered it as a vital change. They have discovered it as a vital change agent for personal and national development. They see this curriculum as learners acquire the 21st century competences, for example, critical thinking, problem solving, which are the generic skills. They see those competences as a change agent for individual and national development. As learners acquire these skills, they will be able to solve different problems in the real life situations. So these teachers have now have decided to accept the CBC. Then we have the last group of teachers. We have the last group of teachers under the last stage in curriculum implementation, where we have the commitment stage. In the commitment stage, these people are devoted. These people gather all necessary resources required for curriculum implementation. They gather all materials, all learning materials, to make this curriculum work. They have Even they pay in their time and money to make this curriculum work. So these people are in the commitment stage. So basing on the four stages, as you listening to me right now, in which stage do you fall under? You can evaluate yourself. I have finished the stages for curriculum implementation, but we also have what we call the adoption curve. The adoption curve. In implementing this curriculum, it undergoes through this curve, which is called the adoption curve. And here they are saying the adoption curve refers, let me see whether I can draw it for you here. The adoption curve